All right, guys, we're going to get right into it right away. I want to get into some Brewer talk. I am really jonesing for some Brewers baseball. Miller Park, tailgating. If you've never tailgated in Wisconsin, it is a bucket list thing because you're like, oh, God, this is just, tailgating in Wisconsin. No, it's not. Tailgating in Wisconsin, 100% different than anywhere else. Number one place to tailgate, 100% better. And by the way, our ballpark is called Miller Park. Why do you think it's called Miller Park? We drink a lot. Deal with it. We're from Wisconsin. It's what we do. It's how we breathe. We're like fish, but with beer. So deal with it. But anyway, I'm jonesing for baseball. The question that I am going to ask you guys, the viewers, what do the Brewers need to do to make the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs? I was just watching a video trying to get myself jacked up for the season because, as we know, it's only like 9 days away before the Brewers actually take the field against the San Diego Padres in San Diego, and like 2 weeks until actual opening day. So very exciting. I'm watching this video, and they're talking, are the Brewers legit World Series contenders? And what happened to them last year? As we know, the Brewers had the lowest opening day payroll last year. So why were they able to do it? Why were they able to go so far? This clown was like, oh, they had a 5.5 game lead at the All-Star break, but their pitching ran out of gas. What? No, it didn't. The bats stopped going. They stopped hitting. They scored like 3 runs a game. It was terrible. The only reason why the Brewers did anything is because they had solid pitching. So shut your face. I don't like it. I don't like it. Brewer rant, here it comes. But anyway, I don't like that. You got to get your facts straight. The only reason why the Brewers stunk is because they went from hitting spectacular and absolutely killing everybody by scoring, 5, 6, 7 runs consistently down to, 1, 2, 3. That's a big drop off. You put too much pressure on a pitching staff that wasn't supposed to pitch well. I mean, everybody kept saying, oh, snap, the bullpen's going to run out of gas. You're overusing the arms. I mean, at the beginning of the season, it was true. It was kind of a trade-off. The pitching staff did not go well in the beginning of the season. You could not buy 5 innings from any of our starting pitchers until the second half of the season. Zach Davies got going. A lot of pitchers got going. Chase Anderson was injured. We got him back. He was going. He was solid. I mean, how many wins would the Brewers would have had if Matt Garza wasn't on this team last year? 90? Maybe? Imagine if the Brewers were able to hit consistently throughout the year. How many wins do they have? Do they win the NL Central if their bats went the way that they did? Probably. Because we all know how fast that 5.5 game lead went after the All-Star break. It went like that. Was it even a week before they were tied for the NL Central lead? I don't even remember. But anyway, what do the Brewers need to do to make a run into the playoffs this year and make sure what happened last year doesn't happen again this year? And I think they went out and they addressed that. They got bats. What was the biggest pet peeve for you as a Brewer fan watching the game? I'll tell you mine. It was when the Brewers had a person on second or third with 1 out, and then the next 2 guys struck out or hit a ground ball to the wrong side of the infield, or they just couldn't execute a simple sacrifice bunt. Just get the ball in the outfield. Get a sacrifice fly. Play small ball. That's all the Brewers need to do to get that 1 or 2 extra runs a game. And all of a sudden, instead of going through stretches of averaging 1, 2, 3 runs a game, you're still averaging 4 to 5 because you're scoring 1 to 2 runs just by basic baseball. That's what the Brewers need to do more consistently. Basic baseball. They need to put the ball in play, and that's what exactly they got in the offseason. They got 2 guys that I'm pretty sure didn't even strike out 100 times. I think Lorenzo Cain only struck out 80 times in like 500 or 600 at bats. It was ridiculous. Christian Yelich is another guy who basically hits 300. Lorenzo Cain did hit 300. So what did you do? You bolstered one of the biggest pet peeves that ailed this team, in the fact that they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. Now, obviously, you got a if they don't do it, I'm just speaking malarkey, and I'm going to get comments on the views going, what the hell are you talking about, like a month into the season? That's not what I'm trying to get at. But if you're from Wisconsin, this thing frustrated the hell out of you, and you were god dang pissed off 95% of the way going down the stretch. And even with all that being said, the Brewers only missed the playoffs by 1 game. They played every 161 games out of 162 games were relevant for the Brewers season. They were right there at the wild card, and they just pissed it all away. But I really don't see that happening this year. If their pitching can do what they did last year, I know the pitching, what people are saying is that they overachieved. But did they? If they do it again this year, did they overachieve last year? My thing would be no, because that's the norm. They grew as a team. These pitchers grew. And I put a lot of accolades on our pitching coach. Our pitching coach did a wonderful job. He did. Chase Anderson's velocity went from like 93 to 97. It was incredible. Zach Davies, it took him a little while to get going, but it was an incredible performance. The Brewers just need to hit. They're going to smack the tar out of the ball, especially because here's an analytic, and here's your fun fact stat of the day, that if you took Christian Yelich out of Miami and you put him in Miller Park, he hit 34 home runs compared to what he hit last year, which I think was 18. I get it. Miller Park is a bandbox, but still, when you put those stats together, that makes up for a mean combination. Even with Lorenzo Cain, he plays in another not-so-hitter-friendly ballpark, and he hit 15 home runs. What does that equate to in Miller Park? I don't know. 70 RBIs instead of 50? Christian Yelich, 34 home runs instead of 18? I don't know. There's a lot of good things happening for the Brewers. I mean, who knows what Ulysse Chacin is going to turn into in the pitching staff, how much he's going to anchor that. And you got to remember, I'm not even mentioning the fact that Jimmy Nelson's injured right now. Jimmy Nelson's going to come back, and he's going to fortify this. If he pitches anywhere near the way that he pitched last year, our team will have a pretty solid, underrated starting 5. You got Zach Davies, Chase Anderson, Ulysse Chacin, Jimmy Nelson. Who's going to get that 5th spot? If it's my pick right now, I'm saying probably Wade Miley, because he's been there, done that, and apparently he's had a hell of a spring. That's not saying Brent Suter or Brandon Woodruff isn't going to be a starter at some point, but I'm just saying I'd probably get the first nod to Wade Miley, especially because you just really want a lefty eventually in the rotation, and I'm fine with him being the 5th starter. I am. But everything's looking pretty damn good for the Brewers, and I'm not giving any complaints. I'm just sick and tired of everybody kind of getting the facts wrong, and the fact that they're smashing, the pitching staff when that wasn't even the issue last year. The only reason why the Brewers were in somewhat of these games is because of the freaking pitching, not the hitting. Pissed it all away. They couldn't score with runners in scoring position. That's all fine and dandy, but still, get the facts straight, okay? I'm really looking forward to the season. Really, really looking forward to the season. If things go the way that I'm planning, I see the Brewers winning 90 to 92 games and pushing the Cubs in the NL Central. I could easily see them getting past the St. Louis Cardinals. I know they've been a thorn in our side for so many years, but I think this might be the year that we actually finally break through and we get past those clouds. So I'm looking forward to a great Brewers season. I'm looking forward to a great Brewers season with you guys. And if you haven't heard, I have a Facebook channel, Sholey Sports. Feel free to check that out, like the page. I'm going to keep coming out with new articles about the Brewers as we get closer. Don't even want to talk about the Bucks. Don't even want to do it. Don't even, as we get closer to the Packer season, Packer draft, we're going to be talking about all that. Big question I want to raise is Brian Gutekunst. Has he pass or fail so far? Do you like the moves? Do you not like the moves? We'll discuss that as we get closer to the draft. But if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. I have been loving the support from you guys, so thank you very much. And as always, I will see you guys later. Bye.